This is a brief introduction on geography as a section in Prelims GS. We can classify and divide our discussion into two parts. First part is demand side. That is from the civil services conducted by UPSC GS paper. So remember that geography contributes nearly 10 to 12 questions out of 100 questions in the prelims. And these sections these questions are vital in qualifying prelims. 10 to 12 questions means nearly 10 to 12% of the question paper. Out of the 100 questions, 10 to 12 are from the geography. So it is going to be very vital. And remember that the questions could be classified into three categories. First is called conceptual. Category divided as conceptual and principles, aspects of the geography, concepts and principles related with the geography. Second is their context, and third is understanding of map, diagram, and charts related with the geography. So I am discussing on geography as a section in Prelims GS, which contributes 100 questions. Out of 100 questions on the demand side, 10 to 12 questions are related with the geography. In 10 to 12 questions, some are related with understanding of concepts and principles of the geography. Some are contextual understanding like distribution and concentration of conceptual variables of geography over the world in India. And some of the questions are related with the maps, diagrams, and the charts. Now I am coming on supply side. That is met by students and candidates appearing in civil services. And remember that the balance between demand and supply creates stability. Demand side determines need and the wants created by civil services, and the supply side determines ability to meet the need, wants of the civil services, ability to meet suitability criteria created by the civil services. So this is that this is the challenge side and this is the capacity side. Now I am discussing the capacity side, which has to be developed by the students appearing in civil services prelims. First and foremost is thorough study of concepts and principles of the geography related with both physical geography and human and economic geography. From the point of view of the world geography and Indian geography. That comes with thorough understanding of NCERT from 6th to 12th standard. Thorough study means studying NCERT line by line, point by point, diagrams, charts, and the maps related with the concepts and the principles, and sometimes between the lines, above the lines, and between the lines, because UPSC has a habit of improvisation over the years. So unless until you spend some time on understanding of concepts, understanding of the principles, understanding of the context in which geographical concepts and the principles are applied, as well as tools of the geography like the maps, diagrams, and the charts, then supply side, capacity side to meet the challenge created by UPSC is not going to meet. Okay, na? And then if there are gap between the supply side and the demand side, that ensures failure of the students. Particularly in the geography section, and if they fail to some extent in this section, so that also ensures their failure in the GS prelims paper. So remember that we must balance supply side, that is the capacity and strength of the students generated in this section, according to the demand created by UPSC, which is the challenge created by UPSC before the students. So understand, thorough study of NCERT is very important from 6 to 12 standard. That must be line by line, point by point, diagram by diagram, maps by maps, and sometimes between the lines, above the lines, and below the lines. It means that the understanding of the concept behind organization of the paragraph itself, the central idea of the paragraph itself, that is very important. So a student is required to give some time, spend some time, develop some connectivity with the NCERT with some depth to understand the concept and its textual uses. Now my next lecture is on syllabus. Next syllabus. First we are going to cover basics. Basics of geography are related with intersection of these two subjects. First geography and second astrophysics. These are the topics we are going to cover: universe, galaxy, solar system. That is the first chapter on the basics. Second chapter is basics on the earth. Most importantly, understanding of latitudes and longitudes, then rotation and revolution of earth and related phenomena and effects. Remember that basics on geography and astrophysics are vital for all the entire range of the exams, whether the people are giving the civil services, giving the Indian forest services, Indian engineering services, other exams, even of SSC and all that. These are evergreen sections. 1 or 2 questions are always there, and over the period of time, remember that UPSC has improvised. Some difficult questions are related with the basics, going up to the theory of relativity and its evidences, expansion of the universe and its evidences. Event horizon, singularity, so many gravity waves, so many questions have been asked. So first is going to be on the basics, then we are going to start on physical geography of the world. These are the important sections in physical geography of the world. We are going to cover climatology, geomorphology, oceanography, biogeography, and environmental geography. Then physical geography of the world. Remember that world is the largest scale. Here we understand concepts and principles of geography which are applied at global scale. And remember that this physical geography of the world and strength generated could be converted into understanding of physical geography of India. Understanding of structure and physiography of India, understanding of climate of India, understanding of drainage system of India, understanding of soil of India, understanding of natural vegetation of India. So remember that just scale is changed. Concepts are same. Concepts and principles study over here. We study their global distribution and organization and related pattern. And the same concepts are used over here, but here the context is Indian geography. That 32 lakh square kilometer covered by the India from north to south, from east to west. And here we see how they have been distributed, concentrated, organized and structured. So this is for the concept building. Their context is global. Here the context becomes relatively smaller. You can say here if the context is macro, distribution over continents, so here context is going to be meso. So remember that just scale is changing and geography gives us vital idea on changing of scale. Remember that scale is geospatial and temporal. Geospatial means the area covered. Temporal means time covered. That is why this is part of the geography, temporal is part of the history. That is why it is said that the geography and history are sisterly subjects. Space cannot be disconnected from time, time cannot be disconnected from the space. Both are occurring together. Both are dynamic factors. That is why there is a term in ethics and integrity called bounded rationality. Our rationality, logic behind our thoughts and actions are determined by the space and time we live in, the social conditions we live in, the economic conditions, political conditions we live in. Like in the past we had built, there means we had Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar architecture cannot be compared with the modern times malls. Qutub Minar is a World Heritage Site because it is considered one of the best architecture of its own time. And the malls are of the modern times. You can say in India post-globalization phase, as we started economic reforms, malls came into India. So a mall cannot be compared with the Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar cannot be compared with the Red Fort because they are of different times. Okay, na? So geography and history provides us understanding on diversity and its distribution in relation to the physical phenomena which are globally distributed and concentrated, as well as physical phenomena which are distributed and concentrated in India. Now the second part. Second part is on human and economic geography. Again, here scale is going to be of world and India. Now, these are going to be the topics covered. First is resource. Remember that in today's UPSC questions, they are not asking raw facts. They are asking changing pattern or shifting patterns of resource and their uses. Why there are shift? Why and how determines our understanding of why and how determines our performance in civil services rather than raw facts. Because now raw facts are so much in numbers, in quantity, that memorization is going to be difficult. 30 to 40 years back, India had limited thermal power plants, coal-based. But now there are many. Every state, each and every have 10 and more thermal power plants. It is nearly impossible for a human being to memorize all thermal power plants. Now the questions are how thermal power plants are shifting. Earlier they were coal-based, now they are market-based. So how and why? This pattern is there in the mains. This pattern is continuing in the prelims because conceptual understanding of prelims also works in providing answers, writing answers, precise and concise in the mains. So never forget that prelims is entirely detached from the mains and mains is entirely detached from the prelims. There are sections which are overlapped. There are concepts and principles learned in the prelims are used in understanding of the main syllabus and the previous year's questions. And sometimes understanding of the framework, organization and structure provided by understanding of the mains pattern and related PYQs also helps in understanding of the prelims, and that becomes the guiding source for finding out right answers in the prelims. Second is going to be on agriculture and allied sector. Then we are going to be on mining, then industry and power, then transport and communication, trade, population and demography. Related with the world as well as India. Like there was a question in prelims. What is mixed farming? It is conceptual in the nature. It is conceptual in the nature because there are so many terms, so many places mix is used, like mixed cropping. Mixed cropping is different from mixed farming. Mixed farming means crop cultivation combines with animal husbandry and dairy farming. That is called mixed farming. That is complementary to each other. That ensures enhancement of food and nutritional security. because animal is also source of food. Animal is source of doing so many works in agricultural and allied activities. Earlier people, before the tractors were available and trucks, before the tractors and the trucks were not available, people were using bullock carts. Now mixed cropping. There is a cropland. Two or more than crops in the same season are cultivated in the same cropland. That is called mixed cropping. Like earlier people used to cultivate wheat with the barley, wheat with the barley and peas, wheat with peas and gram. Why? This is a system of food and nutritional security. This is a system of ensuring income and food in the case of natural hazards. Like if there is a disease of the wheat, there is an environmental situation adverse against the wheat, then barley and peas survive and some return is assured, some income is assured. So remember that precise and concise, comparison and contrast are important because lines are very thin and blurred. If there are overlappings, hedging in understanding of concepts which are comparable, concepts which are contrasting in nature, then finding out answers are going to be difficult. And remember that difficulty is source of risk. Risk is, you can say, a function of difficulty. If difficulty increases, risk increases. And here risk is of failure. And failure in Indian society is dehumanizing in nature because our parents largely teach us what to handle success. Hardly they teach us how to handle failure. Many people will be questioning your failure, including your friends, your parents. Am I right? So, if you want to reduce risk the difficulties you face. And the difficulty we face could be reduced by proper understanding of comparison and contrast between the concepts, principles related with geography and their uses. Uses could be macro, global, national and sometimes local too. So this is going to be the syllabus for human and economic geography from the world point of view and the India point of view. Now we are going to have logical, consistency and sequencing in following the subject matter. First, we are going to cover basics, which I have already told you, then the physical geography of world, then the Indian geography, physical geography of India, then human and economic geography of world, human and economic geography of India. And remember that if this subject matter is the body of the geography, maps, diagrams and charts are soul of the geography. And remember that never disconnect soul from the body. A body without soul is soulless. And the soul without body is pretatma, bhoot, pisach. So I am not going to give you specific classes on maps, diagrams and charts. Whatever the topic we reach from the basic our coursework, the diagrams, maps and the charts related with that topic are going to be drawn at the same time and discussed. It is not that if I am teaching the fold mountains, I'll give you a kind of world map and the India map on the fold mountain itself rather than teaching it later on. Because sometimes what happens, now they are asking the most important mountains of the world and related their impacts on the weather and climate. Alignments of the mountains, major mountains and their impacts on weather and climate. So best is that while we are covering a topic and related discussion, we will cover maps, diagrams and the charts related with the topic itself. So that as we proceed with the syllabus, body of the geography is covered with providing enough nourishment to the soul. Thank you all. It is going to be a topic on universe. In the past few years, nearly 4 to 5 questions have been related with the universe. Why? The understanding on the universe is rising as we are launching many space missions, including missions on Moon, missions on Mars, missions for observation and surveying of the Jupiter as well as Sun. So remember that universe has two types of dimensions. One is its static part, that is related with theory. Like I say, Big Bang theory and its evidences. Second aspect is current and contemporary. Space missions, their findings and observations. So remember that we need to interconnect the static part of the universe with the current and contemporary space missions and their relevance in respect of their findings, observations. Now I am going to define the universe. Remember that definition is very important because definition itself provides us framework to understand a phenomena या variable important for civil services, prelims या mains या even you can say interview. Definition define a phenomena. So remember that definition has two aspects. One is it defines the nature of a phenomena, and nature is intrinsic. It comes from inside. Like intrinsic motivation defines personality of a person. Self-confidence defines how person shows its behavior in the real situation. If the confidence of a person is more than capacity, you know that that person is called overconfident. And idiots are always overconfident because they don't have understanding of their weakness. And a person if does not have understanding of the weakness If the weaknesses and incompetencies, the person becomes overconfident. So remember that there must be a balance between confidence and capacity. Some people have high capacity but with low confidence. Okay, na? They hesitate in speaking their ideas before the people. So what is best is there must be a balance between the confidence a person has and the capacity. Means confidence must be according to the capacity. Both are injurious. If the capacity is more than confidence, then the person is lowly confident, not optimally and effectively able to utilize its strength and skill in the real life situations. If the capacity is low and the confidence is high, those people are overconfident. They make mistakes in doing things. So remember that if there is imbalance between capacity and confidence, the results are going to be suboptimal. So to optimize, we need to have a balance between capacity and confidence. Capacity must determine the state of the confidence of a person. Capacity is a precondition to define the level of confidence. If the capacity of a person increases, the level of the confidence of the person must be on rise. So remember that capacity is the source of confidence. But sometimes and most of the time and most of the people develop confidence without developing capacity, and that ensures failure of the people in managing affairs of the country or their own. The UPSC need a person who has ability to define himself as well as the content. Sometimes content written by a candidate itself defines the personality of the person. गलत बोल रहे हैं, सही बोल रहे हैं ना? ठीक ठाक आता है ना मुझे? Remember that if the capacity is more than the challenge, then the life becomes boring. If the capacity is less than challenge, then life is anxious. When the capacity and the challenge are in the state of balance, then the life flows. And we need a flowing life in civil services. So now I am coming on to how we define the universe. Definition of a person must be in relation to the confidence and capacity, and the capacity and the challenge. Remember that this is the sequencing. Challenge must define the capacity. Okay, na? Challenge is the precondition. The capacity of the person must be in respect of the challenge, and then the confidence. Thus, understanding of challenge is very important. Once we understand challenge, then we define the challenge. We define the ingredients and variables of the challenge, their magnitude and frequency of the different variables creating the challenge, and accordingly we respond by developing the capacity. Now I am coming on definition of the universe. Universe is unbounded. Why? It is expanding. It is three-dimensional. Space with time, which includes entire matter, energy and momentum. Remember that momentum comes with movement in the matter. If the matter moves, momentum is generated. So unbounded three-dimensional space with time, which includes entire matter, energy and momentum, is defined as universe. This is the exact definition. Now, types of matter and energy in the universe. Both are visible and dark. Visible is source of releasing electromagnetic radiation, X-ray, ultraviolet radiation, light, infrared, microwave, radio waves, which could be collected and read. Dark matter and energy cannot be perceived because they are not releasing, they are not emitting, either they are not reflecting any kind of electromagnetic radiation, its part. And remember that the world is dominated by, the universe is dominated by dark energy and matter. It means that in our real life also, in our political life also, the dark politicians, bureaucrats, people with the dark past and the dark present dominate our life. It means that there is a little room for the something which is visible, observed and known. This is the philosophical interconnectivity. क्योंकि यूनिवर्स में ही डार्क बहुत ज्यादा है, डार्क एनर्जी एंड द मैटर. तो विजिबल 5% करके क्या करेगा? एंड दैट इज वाई इन आवर सोशल लाइफ, आवर नेशनल लाइफ, honest people are less visible, dishonest are more visible, more circulating into the economy and society. That is why we need to develop a strong moral infrastructure in Indian society. The honest people must speak with the honesty, must be firm, must be confident about their honesty and about the how society respond to their honesty. Now, question arises, when universe was born? Universe was born 13.7 billion years before present. Why before present? At this scale of billion, 2000 years do not matter. That is part of the error involved in the calculation itself, in the measurement itself. That is why we say before year. Now, I told you importance of compare and contrast. Remember that this is the age of universe. This is going to be the age of sun. Sun was born 5 billion years before present. Means in respect of age of universe, sun is relatively younger, too young. And earth, that is 4.6 billion years before present. Sometimes people do mistakes. They write 10 to the power 9 also and billion also. That is a mistake. Common sense. Loss of the common sense. While you are writing 10 to the power 9, you are not required to write the billion. 10 to the power 9 itself reflects billion. 10 to the power 6 itself reflects million. Now, question arises, how universe originated? Universe originated through Big Bang. Means a great explosion in the universe. A great explosion. Yeah, a primordial explosion. in the universe. Yeah, first explosion in the universe. This explosion occurred 13.7 billion years before present, and that is considered age of the universe. Now question arises, what was the state of universe before its origin, before the expanding state? This state is known as singularity. Singularity का मतलब होता है, बोले तो totality. Means entire mass and energy of the universe was compressed and concentrated in a point. That is called singularity. This question has been asked in the UPSC Prelims in the recent years. Ki singularity is associated with which phenomena? So if you are saying this is the expanding universe, so this point is going to be singularity. And this is the time, and with the time universe is expanding. Now question arises, what are the evidences of expanding universe? This question has been also asked. Remember that universe is defined in terms of galaxies. That is the second order of phenomena in the universe. So second order and their interlinkages defines the first order. Like interconnection between your parents define your personality. Your parents are older than you. They are the previous generation. Their personality, thoughts and behavior are determined according to your grandparents. So remember that galaxies and their interconnection define unbounded universe, yeah, expanding universe. How? Galaxies are departing. Departing means moving away in simple terms. Remember that in geography and in GS, whatever the section, we do not need to use the jargons, just appropriate words and terminology. That is important. And rate of departure is directly proportional to their distance. Means farther a galaxy, faster it is moving away and apart. जो जितना ज्यादा दूर है और तेजी से दूर जा रहा है. इसका मतलब if there is a opposite situation in the universe, it happens, nobody have evidence of it. That is called imploding theory. Means contraction in the universe. Then जो जितना नजदीक होगा उतना और तेजी से नजदीक आएगा. तो this is Big Bang theory in which is stating that the farther a galaxy which is measured from our home galaxy which is known as Milky Way, faster it is moving. So universe is in expanding state. Okay na? So here is going to be Hubble constant, that is distance by rate of departure. That gives us time of origin of universe. Hubble constant is used for time of universe, and according to Hubble constant means time या age of universe is equal to 1 by h. H is Hubble constant. And this is how the age of universe is 13.7 billion years according to Big Bang theory, in which galaxies are departing, and farther a galaxy, faster is its movement. Now question arises, what are the evidences of expanding universe? Evidence. Remember that UPSC never asks questions related with societal fantasy and imagination. UPSC is far, far away. Questions related with the UPSC are related with the facts occurring with space and time and the causes behind occurrence of the facts. Means something which is observable, something which is observed, measured and recorded. At least in general science, astrophysics and geography. Even in history, UPSC never asks about the opinion. UPSC asks about the evidences. Evidence का मतलब क्या हो? Something which is evident. If something which is evident, it means that it is going to be observed, and something which is observed could be measured and recorded. Like you people are observing me. You people must be measuring my knowledge. You must be recording my thoughts. It happens. Everyone does that. If you are doing, you are not doing something wrong. Measure me, I'll measure you later on. If I do not measure, UPSC will measure you. So this is how things goes. You measure me, you are measured by UPSC. You are at the interface of my teaching and the demands of the UPSC. And in the philosophy, it is called positivism. Yeah, you can say empiricism. Empiricism was source of positivism. Reason, scientific reason and logic. Birth of scientific reason and logic, and that gave way to origin of, that provided origin to the industrial revolution, scientific revolution. So these are the evidences of the expanding state of universe. One is called redshift. Electromagnetic recorded by us for far moving galaxies over the period of time, the wavelength of the radiation increases. It means that the frequency and energy received by us decline. It means that the galaxies are moving away and away from our home galaxy. Had been there blue shift, had been, so there would have been galaxies coming close to our home galaxy. Because energy received, frequency received by us would have been increasing. But if galaxies are moving away, over the period of time, energy received declines. And if energy and frequency declines, you know that the wavelength is going to be shorter. That is called redshift. Here is the Doppler effect. And see, the redshift has been given in the NCERT, but not the another fact. That is microwave cosmic horizon. If we look at the horizon of the universe, that is the source of electromagnetic radiation, which is the oldest one, the weakest one. So if we look at the horizon, horizon is the farthest thing to be seen, to be observed from our observatories. So that is going to be in the spectrum of the microwaves. So redshift and the microwave cosmic horizon, which is also called relic radiation. Relic is something oldest radiation, visible and recorded in the universe, are the evidences of expanding state of the universe. Okay, all the best. Thank you.